Today we're going over dilations for the second day. This is our last transformation. A dilation is a transformation in which a figure is enlarged or what? Reduced. What does enlarged mean? Get bigger. What does reduced mean? Get smaller. And this is using a scale factor. This is using a scale factor. Remember, the scale factor tells you how much bigger or how much smaller. Now, I want to teach y'all a trick about scale factors. And I talked to you about this yesterday. You don't have to write it down. Do y'all know that in a fraction, the top number is called the numerator? Do y'all know what the bottom number is called? The denominator. Okay, here's the trick. If the top number, if the numerator is smaller than the denominator, so like if this number's small and this number's bigger, then that will be a number less than 1. So that would create a reduction. So example, 1/3. Do you see how the top number is smaller than the bottom number? We're already not paying attention. I'm going to say it again. In a fraction, y'all should have learned this in 4th grade. If the top number is smaller than the bottom number, that number is less than 1. And if you multiply it, it will create a reduction. If the top number is the bigger number and the bottom number is the smaller number, this is greater than 1. It will create an enlargement. For example, 5/2. What number is bigger? The top. 5/2 is 2.5. Is that greater than 1? Yes. So this is a trick you can use where you don't even have to put it in your calculator. Okay, and I have this written, if y'all look at the whiteboard in green. Y'all see it? My whiteboard in green. I wrote it up there for you. So you can use this today. All right. The rules of dilation says you must multiply the coordinates by the scale factor. So look at the rule. You take your x and your y and you multiply them by a number. That number is the scale factor. Yes? Everybody look what this says. This is exactly what we just learned. When the scale factor is bigger than 1, it's going to be an enlargement. When the scale factor is between 0 and 1, meaning smaller than 1, it's going to be a reduction. Now, how did we find the scale factor? New over old. Write that down. New over old. That's how you find scale factor. All right, it says, here you have triangle ABC. It's dilated, and it wants us to find the scale factor. So everybody look at triangle ABC and ABC. Which one is the new one? The new one has the what? The prime. So this one right here is new, and this one right here is old. Now, it wants you to use the coordinates to do new over old. Pay attention. So what is the new A's coordinate at? So everybody find the new A. Where am I at? 6, 2. Where is the new B at? -1, -1. All right, where is the new C at? On the x-axis, I am at 0. On the y-axis, I am at... Huh? Oh, thank you. Yes, hey, they caught my mistake. Everybody look. I did the old here. The new one was at -2, -2. Thank you. So the A is good. Now the B is good. Let's look at the new C. Everybody look. Here's the new C. Where am I at on the x-axis? 0. Where am I at on the y-axis? Okay. You can take any of these coordinates and do new over old. You can do the x to the x, the y to the y. It doesn't matter. So if I want to use the x, I have to use the x. So what is new 6 over 3? 2. Could I have also used the y's? 2 over, come on guys, say it out loud. 2 over 1 also reduces to 2. Are you going to get the same answer every single time? Yes. Could I have used this x to this x? Yes. Negative 2 over negative 1 also simplifies to 2. So it does not matter which coordinate you use. You just have to use like the new b to the old b. Okay? And you have to use the x to the x or the y to the y. So you could have just done 4 over 2 or 6 over 3. Either way, you're going to get 2. So my rule says we dilate it by a scale factor of 2 to create the new image. Now let's write a rule. The rule says take your x and your y and multiply them by 2. So how would I write that? 2x, comma, 2y. Okay, flip to the back. They want you to draw a rectangle with these coordinates. All right, so let's go draw it. So negative 2, and label this point W. I should see everybody doing this with me. I still don't see everybody doing it with me. Okay, I'm now going to go to negative 2, positive 3. This is going to be point X. I'm now going to go to 5, 3. This is going to be point Y. And then I'm going to go to 5, negative 2. And this is going to be point Z. I'm going to connect my dots to make a rectangle. Make your rectangle. Okay, now what does it want us to do? It wants us to dilate this with a scale factor of what? 1/2. So question, is it going to get bigger or smaller? Why? Because this number is less than 1. Okay? So it's going to get smaller. It's going to be half the size. So to do this and come up with the new coordinates, the rule says, take your x and your y, write this down, and multiply them by 1/2. So 1/2 times x, 1/2 times y. So we are going to come up with our new coordinates by multiplying. So we're going to take this w's x value and we're going to multiply negative 2 times 1/2. So take your calculator and do negative 2 times 1/2. What do you get? Negative 1. So that's the new w's x value. This is also going to be what? Negative 1. So all we're doing is taking the numbers and multiplying by 1/2. This times 1/2 is negative 1. Now we need to do 3 times 1/2. So everybody go do 3 times 1/2. What do you get? Can I put that as a decimal so that I can graph it? Math, decimal, enter. What is it? Write it down, 1.5. Okay, what's 5 times 1/2? What's half of 5? 2.50. So if you look, 5 times 1/2 is Math, decimal, enter, 2.5. And we already did 3. Everybody get that this 3 is going to be the same as this 3, so 1.5. This 5 is going to be the same, so 2.5. And this is going to be the same, so -1. Now all we need to do is graph it. So our first one, we're going to go to -1, -1. Put a dot and label it the new W. Now on the x-axis, go to -1, but go up 1.5 right here. This is the new x. Now go on the x-axis, go to 2 and then go halfway more. Hold your pencil and then go up 1.5. And you're right here in the middle of this square, and that's your new y. Am I going too fast? Are y'all okay? Okay, now for our new, we did our new y. Let's do our new z. Go to 2.5 on the x-axis. Hold your pencil. Then go down 1. And then label that the new z. Connect your dots. So we just drew a dilated image of our original figure by a scale factor of 1/2. What is the rule that would describe this? Here's our scale factor. How would I do it? We already wrote it. Write it down. Take your x and your y and multiply them both by 1/2. Then answer the question, would this be an enlargement or reduction? I heard one person, would this be an enlargement or reduction? Why? The scale, but tell me about the scale factor, because the scale factor is less than 1. On the front side, it says figure A. Everybody look. You had to read. Figure A is dilated. Oh, wait. Look at how it read. Figure A is a dilated image of B. A is the new one. So everybody do. A is the new. In every single one, B is the old. It wants you to first find the scale factor. How do you find scale factor? New over. So for every single thing that says scale factor, you're going to do new over old. So for number 1, I'm going to zoom in. For A, is there a point down here at -6?
Yes.
Look, right here.
It's right there.
If I can see it, y'all should be able to see it because I got old eyes. All right, is there a point right here at B at -2?
Yes.
All right, so what would go on top?
-2. Sit. Negative over 6.
Okay, stop. Guys, stop. What goes on top? New. Which one of these is new? A. So that's this one right here. So -6 over -2. Now your job is to simplify that using alpha y equals. So -6 over -2 simplifies to what?
3.
So my scale factor is 3. Now I have to write the rule. The rule says take your x and your y and multiply them both by that scale factor. This is an arrow. Yeah, so every time you get your scale factor, you make it look like that. Make sense? Guys, you need to go label every single A is new, every single B is old. Shh. Flip to the back. When you get on the back, at the top, you don't have to do any math. You are You are simply going to look at the scale factor and decide if it's an enlargement or a reduction. Remember the trick that I taught you this morning, and it's written on the board. If the number is greater than 1, it's an enlargement. If the number is less than 1, it's a reduction. Okay, then at the bottom, it's the same thing as the front. It says figure A is a dilated image of figure B. So A is new, B is old. They want you to figure out if it's a reduction or enlargement, then write the rule. So 2 answers on the back. So look at number 1. To get from B to A, what happened? Did it get bigger or smaller? To get from B to A, what happened? So I would write enlargement, and then I need the rule. And I don't know it. You're going to have to find it by doing new over old. All right, get it done.